Greetings and salutations, loyal viewers of this channel. My name is Sean, and today I want to talk about something that is going on in the city of Los Angeles that is not getting the news coverage that it deserves. And the reason why is because we have a series of people that are vested in denying the issue of crime, criminality, retail theft, and its consequences. On top of that, a lot of these same people are interested in denying the effects of inflation. They'll tell you that, oh, well, inflation was 8%. Now it's down to 4%, so no big deal, even though that 4% compounds on top of the 8%, so it's actually significantly worse. It's essentially like arguing that if you were going 80 miles an hour and now you're going 40 miles an hour, according to the left wing, you're in reverse, but according to all logic and sensible reasoning, you're still going forward, and that's the problem. That's what we're worried about. So we're going to get into this. We're going to talk about this. But before we do, I want to thank everybody who supports this channel through actualjusticewarrior.com/join.
Give me the money. Give me the money, okay?
About 1 million LA County households don't have enough to eat. That's according to data from the University of Southern California.
And now those same experts worry the closure of the 99-cent stores will make things even tougher.
So right off the top, I do want to throw a little bit of shade, a little bit of question marks related to this stat being put forward by USC, because they're saying this percentage of households doesn't have enough food to eat. But as we found out through looking through various different sourcings on this, like from the USDA, oftentimes what they call food insecurity is not actually a lack of calories. In fact, it is just people changing their dietary preferences based on cost. Now, this is still a problem, but it is a completely different problem than the idea that these people have absolutely nothing to eat. Remember, and never forget this, the poor in the United States of America are disproportionately obese. They're actually eating more, not less. So I just want to throw some doubt on that right off the top. We're not just going to accept everything being put forward by this local news segment at face value, and I've done many other videos going after the definition of food insecurity, which oftentimes means changing your preferences due to price at the grocery store, even if that results in you consuming more calories, not less. Food insecurity is not hunger, and it shouldn't be mistaken for hunger.
At a time when many struggle to afford groceries, the closure of 99-cents only stores is a financial blow to families like Maria's. We met Maria at a 99-cents only store in Maywood. We wanted to see how she and other shoppers are able to stretch their tight budgets by shopping at the bargain store.
Now, the reason I wanted to highlight this segment in particular is because, remember, the premise of this story is that these 99-cent stores are closing down. But as you can see right here, if we're dealing with situations where people are stressed financially and thus being driven into poverty, you would think that based on that rate, where to the next comparable stores, you're saving $6, you're saving $3 for a similar amount of items, that these stores would be doing better because they would be drawing in more and more customers.
After we wanted to see just how much she was saving, so we visited 2 other grocery stores and picked some of the same items. We got a pack of tortillas, a melon, a pack of strawberries, a 3-pound bag of potatoes, and also a gallon of milk.
Here's what our total looked like at every store. $11.39 at 99-cents only store, $14.95 at Grocery Outlet, and $17.96 at Ralph's.
Now, as you can see, obviously, if you're on a tight grocery budget, these 99-cent only stores are absolutely crucial for that budget, although I will point out that based on the items that they bought, not everything in this store is 99 cents. It ends in 99 cents, but whatever, that's not the point. But all the economic pressures, even with inflation and all that, should be trending toward more and more people shopping at these locations. All the dire statistics about people being food insecure and all these other things related to Los Angeles and the other various locations should lead to more and more business over here. In fact, the only thing that is working against this particular location or any of these locations is the idea of inflation, because they can't continue to sell at discount prices when all of their costs are going up. And remember, a lot of people on the left wing say inflation, that's just corporate greed. That's just corporate profits. There is no actual inflation. Well, guess what? It turns out that all 371 locations of this 99-cent only franchise are closing down. They're going kaput. It was actually announced in April that this is the case, and what they're citing as the reasons why are increases in things like theft and inflation and all these other things that we were told were not going to happen if we allowed the government to just shove money out into the economy without any issue.
Overall, Maria saved between $3 to $5. It may not sound like much, but for someone who has a strict $50 weekly grocery budget, it makes a difference.
Realmente a uno se beneficia son los precios.
The savings are a real benefit to her and her family, says Maria. And according to Kayla De La Haye, a research scientist at USC's Center for Economic and Social Research, she isn't the only one who needs the help.
I don't think dollar stores are the place where people get a lot of nutritious food, but I do worry that this is going to make it a lot harder for people who are already struggling to put food on the table.
De La Haye says 30% of people in LA County are food insecure.
Now, again, I want to say that food insecurity is not hunger. It should not be mistaken for hunger, and it is being completely misused in this particular news segment, considering that the definition, according to the USDA, is people making choices on what they eat, even if that results in them consuming more calories based on finances. By definition, if you're choosing to shop at these 99-cent only stores because the prices are lower right here, even if you come away with equivalent items, you could be classified under this broad definition as food insecure. But the points that I want to make related to theft, related to all these different issues that these locations are facing, are actually outlined much better in this news article that I want to read for you. Now, like I said, right at the top, the California-based 99-cent only stores on April 4th announced the closure of all 371 of its locations across Arizona, California, Nevada, and Texas, becoming the latest retailer to shut down because of theft. Now, of course, it was founded in the 1960s, and the company has struggled to maintain low price points, which is the only way that it could draw people in the face of inflation. And they cited inflationary pressures and macroeconomic headwinds, along with retail theft, as reasons for the closures.
Meaning they don't have reliable access to food.
Those food deserts are located in a lot of low-income communities and communities of color, and if they start to close, there is a real gap in food access for many of these neighborhoods.
Prompting calls for urgent solutions.
I think we really need to think about how we're going to help these communities that have been underinvested in get better access to affordable, healthy food.
According to the CEO, Mike Sonomic, this was an extremely difficult decision and not the outcome we expected or hoped to achieve. Unfortunately, the last several years have presented significant, lasting changes in the retail environment, including the unprecedented impact of COVID-19 pandemic, shifting consumer demand, rising levels of shrink, persistent inflationary pressures, and other macroeconomic headwinds, all of which have greatly hindered the company's ability to operate. We deeply appreciate the dedicated employees, customers, and partners who have collectively supported 99-cent only for decades. And since this place has been in business since the 1960s, it is quite literally 4 decades that they've been open. Now, we also have the Family Dollar, which has announced the closure of 1,000 stores across the United States. Dollar Tree has also announced price increase for its premium items from $5 to $7. And this year, across 3,000 stores, we expect to expand our assortment of over 300 items at price points ranging between $150 and $7. The Dollar Tree CEO, Rick Dreeling, said during the company's earnings call. Now, I know a lot of people like to cite this thing from the Council on Criminal Justice where they say retail theft is actually down when you subtract New York City from the data set, and they base it on these 24 cities. But even in Los Angeles, according to the Council on Criminal Justice, retail theft was actually up 60% compared to 2019, rather than down like a bunch of these other random cities that they put in there in order to drive down the numbers. Now, with all that being said, it is important for everybody out there in the audience to understand that, yes, there are a multitude of factors that go into these particular closures. First and foremost, you have high interest rates. High interest rates make it more difficult to borrow money, more expensive to borrow money. So a lot of businesses that would usually float themselves by bad times on cheap money are not able to do that, so they are more prone to close. Secondly, you have inflation. The whole premise and business model of these locations is based on the idea that they're going to deliver you discount prices. Now, presumably, if everybody else was raising their prices just due to corporate greed and not the actual effects of inflation, they would be able to keep their prices down as they've done in order to draw in more customers, and they would still be profitable because because again, inflation is not really an existent thing. It's actually transitory. But of course, inflation is in fact real. So these places that are dependent on the low prices are getting hit especially hard. And again, without the access to cheap money because of the elevated interest rates, they're not able to float themselves by these tough times. And this is why you have Dollar Tree ending up raising their prices. A lot of things that were 99 cents are now $1.50. A lot of things that were $5 are now $7 in response to the inflationary times. But then you add on top of that the increase in retail theft. A lot of these stores are experiencing elevated levels of shrink, and to be clear, shrink is not just theft, it's also damage to merchandise and all of that. However, retail theft is a significant portion of that, and when you couple all of these things together, you make these businesses vulnerable, and the theft puts it over the top, and that's why these locations close. I actually saw a while ago, and I talked about it on this channel, a video where people were saying, well, this Target with more theft isn't closing compared to this Target with less theft, even though the one with more theft had more business in order to compensate for that additional theft, and the other one didn't. So obviously it's a confluence of factors, but it appears that theft has put them over the top, and it looks like it is a wrap for this 99 cents only business. And as they say in the local news segment, a lot of people who are dependent on those discounts, dependent on those low prices, are totally and completely screwed over, and it's really unfortunate that it is the case. But the fact of the matter is, there are consequences to not addressing nor dealing with criminality. And the consequences, as we've known for decades, are a lot of these different businesses that rely on thin profit margins in order to survive end up closing. So yeah, now if you're in a bad neighborhood in Los Angeles and you had this one little bit of relief, this one little bit of aid, this one way for you to save $5, maybe $8 on quick trips to the grocery store, that is beyond you, because the politicians in places like Los Angeles refused to do anything about theft. They said it was no big deal. They said that the people who were stealing are the poor innocent Aladdins trying to get by, even though a safety valve for these people who are actually broke, who actually need these discounts in order to get by, was completely removed from them. But you know what? Those are just my thoughts. I want to know what you guys think down in the comments below. As usual, if you like this video, then show them by leaving a like, subscribe for more content, follow me on the social media, support me via the support links in the description of this video. This has been me talking about the absolute disaster going on in Los Angeles. Till next time.